Harshad, Kudus, Rusikesh, Shudeep, Swapnil, waiting for your.
Yes, ma'am, I'm back.
Harshad, Rusikesh, and Sudeep. Okay, guys, requesting all of you to pay attention. So if you are in the halfway of sprint 3 positive work environment, we will continue in the afternoon. So I'll give you time in the afternoon. Yes. So let's begin our today's session. How are these two images different? Asinath, whomsoever I'm asking, please respond.
I'm in the first image, like it is getting developed, like it is under construction, and in the second image, it is already been constructed and completed.
Under construction and construction got over. I see. So what about Priya?
Yes, ma'am.
How are these two images different?
First one is not completed construction and second is completed is.
Okay, in the other angle? So not completed and completed, that's fine. What are you observing from these two images? How it differs?
Under construction.
Skeleton.
And one is not looking good and other is perfectly.
Framework, ma'am.
In first one, the only the structure is completed. The other one, the style and
complete house has been completed.
Ma'am, in first one is there is only one image, one house, and under second one, ma'am, there is a multiple house, ma'am.
Okay.
First one is base, ma'am, and second one is all completed.
And in first
left aligned, and the second image is on the right alignment. Right side of the page and the left side.
That's okay. That's okay. Fine. It's very keen observation. Huh? Fine. So if you take, if you relate these two pictures with our topic, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, when we are in construction of web page. So if you think in such a way, if you look into the left side image, you will find only the outer structure, skeleton of that house. Am I making it sense? So the left side image, we can see only the structure of the house. Sasi all said yes. The right side, it's a complete house where you can see the structure of house along with complete interior and outer. What is that? Exterior has been designed and completely decorated with windows, doors. Paint. So all those bricks. Let it be. So only the structure of the house, whereas the completed house along with the structure, with all the exterior, I'm sure the interior might be all your tiles work, all your ceilings, everything got completed. What difference do you see among these spots? Shivani, whomsoever I'm asking, please respond.
Pot is decorated by this design and this plant also. And the first one is empty.
Vivek Sharma.
Yes, ma'am.
All these are terracotta pot. So how come you find the difference between the first one and the second, the next two?
Yeah, ma'am. Outer design. Creativity.
So the leftmost, we can see only the structure of the pot, whereas the right, those two right pots are beautifully designed, decorated. and which is more appealing. So when we look into the image, as soon as if I have navigated from first slide to second slide, all of you will get some impressive, some appealing look on these two right side images, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Of course, yes.
Yes.
So let's come to application. So the left hand side, see both are Amazon. So again, the comparison. So you can see the left side is a page of Amazon, whereas the right side is also the page of Amazon, web page, the landing page of Amazon. So as the question is, which image looks more appealing? Starting from the first one. So if you take, what was that? Plain house. So the left side house represents only the frame structure, whereas the right side is beautifully completed with paint work, interior decoration, exterior with all. Same thing is applicable for that flower plot. Decorated plot versus only the pot with structure alone. The completed pot again with decorated one. So if you take whatever is the functionality the user wants to do it in Amazon, you can see sign in, you can see the link for returns and orders, you will find the cart, and here you will be finding all the options, and here also the same. How come it get differs? So this is again, whatever the functionality I want to achieve in Amazon, I can achieve with left side page. Same thing we can achieve with right side. But in terms of appealing, appearance, pleasing, the attractive one, which attracts the clients, customers, all the applications. So whatever the builders or the whomever gonna to do all these, web developer or the manufacturer, the end user will be the customer. So always, so the customer wants whatever the product, it can be a regular product or it can be a web application, they want it more appealing. So being a web developer, when we are in website development, by using HTML, you can create the structure of a web page. So you can create the frame, outer structure, my page with all my controls, all my HTML elements. If I want to make my customer with more user experience, you can achieve that with the help of styling. In web page, in web application development, styles, making my web page more appealing, is achieved with the help of cascading style sheet, CSS. Okay, let me put it more simple. So let me take those house. So if you take what was, I can say, those bricks, those wood, sand, what was that, clay, cement. So I can say these are all, I can relate to all the HTML elements. So on top of it, if I construct door, what, window, ceiling, the nameplate, these are all my semantic elements. If I go for any paint, exterior decorating, if I add any interior decorative elements, those are all falls under the category, your CSS properties. Can you relate?
Yes,
The structure of the house can be constructed with the help of all the HTML elements. On top of it, the organized thing can be achieved with the help of semantic. Apart from that, styling can be achieved with the help of CSS. So we are going to style a web page. As we all know, web application is a collection of web pages. Each web page I'm going to apply a uniform look and feel of the web page can be achieved with the help of styling. Styling can done with CSS property. So name alone, cascading style sheet, everything in cascading style sheet is property. So property can be implemented with the help of key value pair combination. So let us explore. In this session, we will explore on using CSS to style HTML page. Selecting HTML element using CSS selector. We have various ways of applying CSS selector. So how to apply the style to HTML element using CSS property. So as I said, so CSS will use property. How we can achieve that property? So CSS stands for cascading style sheet. CSS defines how HTML elements to display with certain rule. So please look into this slide. 1 minute, give me 1 minute. So if you look into the block, so you may be aware of paragraph tag. So you will be finding paragraph open tag and you will be finding paragraph close tag. So style sheet styles can be applied in 3 different ways. So type selector, ID selector, and class selector. So this is your type selector. So, and it is also called as inline style. So in my HTML element, you can use an attribute called as style attribute equal to, so style is an attribute. I'm sure I have introduced attribute yesterday. You remember direction, scroll amount, those are all attributes. So in your HTML element, we will use attribute, style attribute, and this type is called as inline style. So the right hand side, you will define all your CSS properties separated with semicolon. I can have multiple properties also. So and property will be passed along with name value pair. So you will be providing property name colon operator. So don't forget this. Throughout the session, we will be using the separator colon followed with its value. So the idea behind is I'll be having a paragraph, some text, and this some text font color will be red. And this way of applying a style is called as inline style. In my HTML element itself, I'm going to use style attribute and I'm going to apply the style. So whereas I can use external style sheet as well as embedded style sheet. Let us explore one by one. So before that, this is a way to define our CSS property. So either I will use inline style or embedded or external. But always we will be providing properties in the form of name value pair. Color is a property name. We have default inbuilt properties. You have to use a proper property name, colon followed with values. So CSS, we call it technically, we call it as selector, guys. Selector and declaration. So to which HTML element I want to apply this, that you need to specify as a selector, followed with, this is inline style. When it comes to external, you will be providing a style tag. Inside that, you will be providing a selector followed with declaration. So finds what is this HTML element you want to style. For which HTML element I want to style. In a left side example, I want to apply for paragraph HTML element, and the right hand side, I want to apply for H1 heading tag. So this is my selector and this is my declaration block. Declaration consists of various properties of my CSS separated with semicolon, and each property and value will be separated with colon. Wait. Requesting all of you to pay attention. So I'll use the same demo which I created yesterday, and my demo name is demo2.html, and this is my output. So let me apply some sample style to my paragraph tab, or let me create the new file. Demo3.html. Let me use so let me add, I have copy pasted 3 heading, not 3 heading, 4 heading, H1, H2, H6 and H3, and I have added 2 paragraphs. Let it be. So this is, I can say, structure of my HTML. Shall I apply CSS?
Yes, ma'am.
Listen carefully. Initially, it will be confusing. Within few demos, you will be familiar. So you can apply CSS in 3 different ways. So one is by using inline style. The other one is embedded style sheet. And the last one is external style sheet. And also these are the different ways of applying CSS to HTML. And you can apply styles to HTML element based on, listen, type selector, ID set. Fine. So I'll show you a demo on inline style, embedded style, external we will discuss after some time. And in my embedded style, let's discuss on all the 3 categories. All right. So let me take, my heading 1. So if I apply the style to my HTML element along with my HTML element by using style attribute, falls under the category inline style. I'll repeat again. So inside my HTML element, by using an attribute style, if I apply all the CSS property, this falls under the category inline style. So whereas this inline style cannot be reused, it is applicable only for the HTML element where I have defined. And the second way is embedded style sheet. Inside my head tag, I'll be defining style. So inside style, if I define n number of CSS style with different properties, but different sets of property falls under the category embedded style sheet. Again, I'll repeat. So CSS can be applied on your web page in different way. So if I want to apply a CSS uniquely to HTML element, to that particular HTML element alone, in such situation, I can use inline style. Line number 15, in my H1 heading tag, if I use an attribute style, and I can customize only this particular element on my web page, I can use the concept of inline style. So inline styles, I can say it can be attached directly along with the tag of my HTML element. This cannot be reused. It is applicable for only one respective HTML element. So whereas we call it as embedded style sheet, or the other name is, I think, internal style sheet. So if I want to reuse certain style for multiple element in my web page, only one web page. So in my demo3.html, if I want to apply a style to more than one HTML element, so I can use internal style, or otherwise I can call it as embedded style sheet. So for that, you need to create inside head block, you will be creating a tag called as style. So followed with, if it is for direct HTML element, you can use the HTML element. This is your type. So this will be applicable only for paragraph element, open, close, and inside that you can define n number of properties separated with each property value can be separated with colon, and all the values will be separated with commas. So let me complete. Let it be color. If I give color, and this color is, color defines only font color. So let me apply font color. Let me apply font size.
Ma'am, what is P doing here?
Sorry?
P. Inside the style, what have you written P?
The style which I'm going to define is going to apply for my paragraph tag.
Okay, ma'am.
You can use any name. So let's assume I am defining style 1, or I want to apply the style for my all my headings, heading style. I can provide. So I can give user defined style, or I can give only the style which is for all the predefined HTML element. If it is P, it is only applied for my paragraph tag. So let me give it as heading style 1 dot content style 2. I'll tell you the difference between hash and dot. Okay, I'll finish this. So line number 25 is example for inline style. Just confirm me, inline style is clear to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
And
yes,
inline
ma'am.
style will override all other styles if you apply any external over here, whereas inline will be applicable for this current HTML element. Again, I'll repeat, in your HTML element itself, use an attribute called as style equal to double quotes. Inside, you will be defining all your CSS property. So color is a property, and chocolate, whatever, the color will be the value. It will be in the form of RGB format. Semicolon, because I'm giving multiple properties. I'm going to text align center. I'm going to make my font size as 20. We have point, we have EM, pixel, PX, percentage. So this is your inline. So whereas the second category is internal style sheet or embedded style sheet. For that, you will be defining a style tag inside your head block. And you can define your HTML element so that for HTML tag, the style will be applied. Shall I proceed? So let's assume here I have defined P. P stands for paragraph. For my paragraph, all my paragraph text, this will be applied. So let me apply background color. So background color is for BG color, whereas if I give simply color, it represents your font color. And font size, larger font. So what will happen if I execute it? Wherever I have paragraph tag, style will be applied. So the internal style sheet will be customized to the web page HTML element wherever I have my paragraph tag. Shall I continue? So line number 24 is example for inline, whereas line number 10 is example for internal style sheet, whereas I applied type selector for HTML type, HTML element. For example, paragraph, H1, H2, you can use for div, you can use it for what? Section. For your HTML element tag, you can define.
Ma'am, can you show us for the custom style? The headings,
Which one?
You said something about the custom style, something we can create for ourselves, like the heading style and all that.
We will do. We'll go one by one. And I thought, let me give you this hash heading style one. This is user defined style. It's an example for ID selector. So ID selector, you will be calling with the help of attribute ID, whereas this dot period operator style 2. So if I define with hash, I should call with ID. If I define with dot, I should call with HTML attribute class. I will come.
Ma'am, what type of styling is it?
I have not completed. Give me another 1 minute time. Let me complete it. I thought let me go for inline first and then type selector. Then I'll go for ID selector and class selector. Okay, wait. So inline styles are placed directly inside HTML element using style attribute. Embedded, or it is also called as internal style sheet, will be placed inside head section of a particular web page. Inside head section, you will use style tag and you will define all your style. Whereas the last category is external, that we'll discuss after some time. So moving on to the second and third category, which is ID selector and class selector. Let me check any theory is there. CSS selector allows HTML elements. So other than type, if I want to define my own style for all their elements, so you can find HTML element based on ID, their ID, or class, or type, or attribute. So commonly used CSS selectors are type selectors, ID selector, and class selector. So this hash is an example for ID selector, dot is an example for class selector. I'll complete this. So let me give color. Let me give larger. You can give in percentage, you can give in centimeter, you can give in pixel, you can give in point, you can give in EM. So it's an ocean. You have each and every property you have. So let me give some color. Let me give whatever the font I have specified, it will be multiplied with 5 times. I will not give font weight. I will give color. Requesting all of you to pay attention. So if you take this falls under the category type selector, whereas apart from type for all other element, if I want to give some common uniform style, look, appearance, I can define and I can use any of the selector. One selector is ID selector. Always ID selector, you will be defined with hash. So followed with any meaningful style name. So I assume like this style I'm gonna to apply for my heading. So let's say you want to give a specific head style for your headings. For all the block of heads, you want to apply the style, you can give heading style. And this is just my user defined name, heading style 1. So I have defined various type. So if you have defined with hash, so if the selector has been defined with the symbol hash, so then it is ID selector. You will be using an attribute called as ID and you will be applying to the element. So let's assume hash head style 1, heading style 1. So let's take H2. For this H2, I want to apply the style. So I will be using an attribute called as ID attribute. So for your HTML element, you will be using an attribute ID followed with, you will be using your style name. So I'll repeat again, this ID selector is used to identify the element that you want to apply the style differently from all other element. And you always define this ID selector using hash. Whereas the other category is called as class selector and you will define with dot operator, period operator. And how you will call? So you will be calling with an attribute class. So session 1, the data content session 1, this style will be applied. For 27th June 2022, this style will be applied. Even if you feel for the next heading also you want to apply, you can go ahead. Please look into line number 34, 35, 36 and 37. Am I making it sense? Line number 34 is inline style. Whereas 35, 36, 37, I'm using internal style sheet where 35 alone, it is ID selector, 36 and 37 is class selector. Not only for 35, 36, for the rest of all my HTML element or a block or semantic element, I can use this class selector or ID selector. If I want to apply certain style to group of my HTML element in my web page, I can use this selector. So don't forget, you have to define with dot.
Ma'am,
Yes.
if I use class in front of ID, then what will happen?
It will not apply style. The style will not be applied. You change and try. You will not get the style. For session 1, the style ID selector heading style 1 has been applied. For 27th June and Java tutorial, this class selector content style 2 has been applied. Let it be 2M. You change it, you will not get. Instead of dot, here I have dot operator. Instead of class, if you call with ID, the style will not be applied. Can I use this content style for all the elements? Can I use it in my paragraph? Can I use it in my HTS? I can reuse. I can reuse throughout the same web page. Can I use this content style in my demo too?
Yes, ma'am.
Think and answer me. In
No,
demo
ma'am.
3 inside HTML, I have a style, type, ID, and class. Can I use this heading style 1, content style 1 in my demo 2, other HTML file?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
This inline is applicable only for that element. Internal is applicable only for that HTML page, web page. Okay. Whereas if I want to use certain style throughout my project, throughout all my web pages, then I can use the third category, external style sheet. Okay. So, and one more thing I want to say is for hash and dot. Hash, you can call it with ID, and dot, you can call it with class. I don't think there will be a lot of performance difference. So yesterday, if you look into our demo, you will be finding this class. Class is nothing but it is calling a style sheet property. All the property has been enclosed within select. This is selector and this is declaration. Let me go back to my slide. Can you relate now? So this is selector and this is declaration. We have three styles. And you can apply either by using the direct type or hash or dot. Okay. Shall we use the third category, external style sheet? Before that, just have a look on it. I know randomly I have used color font family. So in project, they will be providing what font you have to use, what font family, the content. So heading on what font family, the paragraph font, whatever the family of font it belongs to, the logo color, the background color, depend upon the application you need to choose. So designing a web page is an art. Okay. So moving to the third category, which is external style sheet. External style sheet is a separate page which is then linked to web page. I'll be creating a new page and that can be linked with all other my web page. So internal, inline, and this is internal. And internal can be applied either by type or by using ID or by using class. Shall I continue with external? After that, I'll give you some time. Just get into CSS. So guys, shall we continue with external style sheet?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So external style sheet is often used when we are developing web application project where the style can be applied throughout your project, all the web pages. Whereas this is only for one web page, this style is only for that control. So file, new file, create a file. And give the file name as, guys, please pay attention. I'm going to store it in HTML June 27 demos where I have all my HTML files. So let me give it as my style one dot. It should save with the extension .css. HTML will be saved with the extension .htm or HTML. And this is for CSS, whereas JavaScript with the extension .js. So don't forget, this should be saved along with the extension .css. So that's all. You can use either type selector. I'm sorry. Let me use it for paragraph. Let it be hash for paragraph style one. So what is the difference between, save it.
Ma'am,
What's the difference between first block, second block, and third? Yes, please go ahead.
ma'am, can we use, instead of word P, can we use any other alphabet?
No. Instead of
P, can we use any other alphabet?
how can you use? See, listen. I just wanted to. I just again wanted to repeat those three categories of selector. So one is if you are using any other alphabet, it should precede it with hash or dot.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
I cannot use X. I cannot use XYZ. So I don't have HTML element XYZ. So since I have paragraph, I'm using type selector for paragraph. Instead of P, if I use K, it will not be applied. If you call, you cannot call, by the way, K. If you want to define as a proper style, either you can use dot. If I put dot K, how you will call?
And by class.
By the attribute class.
Yes,
or you can use hash. You can call with ID K. ID is equal to K. So whereas why I have not specified hash, why I have not specified dot, why I typed P, because we have a paragraph tag in HTML. So for paragraph tag, the style will be applied. Can I use for section? Can I, instead of P, can I use section?
Yes,
Can I
ma'am.
use body?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Because these are all HTML element type. So only for HTML type you can use as it is without hash or dot. For other user defined type, either you need to use hash or dot. So now I think it's okay. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So I will show you. So I have this style. So I have my style, my style1.css, which is located in this folder, June 27 demos. So this style can be applied to all these HTML page. So whatever the style I have, what was that? Body, P style 1, heading style 3. So these are all the 3 style I can call and I can apply to these 3 HTML. But in order to include your external style sheet, so I can reuse my style 1, all the 3 styles in all these 3 HTML. But in order to attach this external style sheet in your HTML, so you need to add, requesting all of you to pay attention. Let's go to demo 2. So if you want to add external style sheet in your HTML, again, you have to use head block. Inside head block, you will be calling link tag. So under link tag, you will be calling type is equal to, I'm gonna to call CSS file, and which is located. So the reference, so hyperlink reference can be defined with the help of href attribute. You can call style, and the relationship is, this is optional, but I don't want to miss this. That's all. So this line is important.
And what is type doing here?
So I can embed. So I can link JavaScript, I can link ECMAScript, I can link any type of file. So I can link any script file. So in order to indicate what type of content I'm gonna to link in this HTML document, in order to specify that, we are using this attribute type attribute. It specifies the type of content is gonna to link in this document. href is used to specify the location of my external style sheet. REL stands for relationship between this style sheet and my HTML page. So this is also used to do, it's like importing. You remember in Java, we used import keyword to importing a package. Likewise, here I want to include my external style sheet in my HTML element. So what is the purpose of external? External can be used in multiple web pages, so that in all the pages I can have a uniform look, same manner I can design. So it is reusable. So this can be linked multiple HTML document, and how you can be linked. So you should use link tag inside your head section of HTML document. Along with link tag, you will be adding these 3 attributes.
Ma'am, can you show me output?
Yeah, I'm showing. Did I called any style? No, I didn't call any style. So how I'm getting this? Why my font are in blue color? Because of, guys, are you there? So I have
Yes,
called
ma'am.
my
Yes, ma'am.
style 1 in my demo 2. So by default, I have created a type selector body. So entire content of body, the color will be blue, font size will be 12, and font weight will be bold. So it has been applied. You can remove. So instead of body, let me apply for paragraph. So only for paragraph, the style has been applied. So if you want to apply the remaining two style 1 and heading style 3, you need to call either with class. This you need to call with class, and this you need to call with ID. So this is example for external style sheet. Both external and internal are syntax remains same. But thing is, here we are using style tag and we are placing all the style in direct head block. Whereas here we are creating a file and we are storing here and we are linking. Shall we go to next? Yes, someone called me. Very good question. Jitesh, very good question. Wait. Whatever you said, let's take paragraph itself. Let it be paragraph. Color is blue and paragraph style 1 color is green. Listen carefully. So if I execute for all the paragraph, it will be blue color. So if you take this, wherever I have paragraph, by default, the color blue has been applied. Instead of, see, wherever I have paragraph, through my external style sheet, blue color has been applied. So what will happen? So if I use inline style for my paragraph,
the color will change.
For the same paragraph, assume like, let me call S2. Assume like, let me define style 2 here. So in this page, it's S2, no? Did I call it with class? Yeah, class S2. So let it be dot S2. Color is what? Gold. So if you look into this paragraph, by default, this paragraph is taking external style paragraph, whereas I am calling class selector and also I am applying inline style. Which style will be applied?
Inline.
Very good. Inline. So throughout the HTML page, if you feel like you applied certain external style, only for that HTML element you want to have a particular style, then you can go for inline. Inline will override all. So all the paragraph will be on this blue, whereas this alone will be on applied with the inline style, that aqua marine. So this inline will be overridden your internal as well as external style. So I'm giving you 15 minutes time just to explore on, just apply one style. I'm leaving to you. Either you can apply internal or inline or external. So have one small demo for heading or paragraph, then we'll move on to next.
Can you share this?
No, I will not share. I will not stop my screen share. So we have lots and lots of things to explore on CSS. Again, I'm repeating, CSS will come more on your interest and your practice rather than teaching. So I'll not share my style. I want you to try. For reference, you can refer this Zoom screen, my screen.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Hmm.
Ma'am, how can we use image file as background? Image?
Very good question. Shall we try that?
Yes, ma'am. Because
Shall we try for this body? Demo 3 body?
Yes,
ma'am,
I
let's say
don't-
for the entire HTML page, can we do?
That's what I'm planning to apply for a body.
Okay.
Also, we can apply background color. Okay. So yesterday, along with one image, I downloaded one more image also. I'll use this image1.jpg, image2.jpg. Let me use image1. I'll apply. Please come along with me. So let me put body. I don't want hash or dot because it is a type selector. So body. Background.
There was an option
I'll
of
complete
background
it.
image.
I'll complete. Give me, just follow with me because certain things I'm not, it's been long time. Some I may miss. So for background image alone, we will use background property colon URL of images path. No double quotes, nothing. I'll check. So if you see the same image just replicating 4 times, I don't want it for 4 times. I want it for only 1 time. So I can call the property bot. Yeah, no repeat. You can give height and width.
Or ma'am, by giving 100% size.
You try with height and width. Yeah.
Ma'am, can we go for the screen size?
Ma'am, try with position absolute.
No. Position fixing absolute. We will discuss in separate session. Shall I give some color? So the color format, which by default it is taking RGB. So just explore. Machine color code will be in HSV format. The popular is RGB format. All the color scale differs with red, green, blue. Differs with 0 to 255. So 0, 0, 0. What is black or white? Or 255, 255, 255. So absolute relative path alone, we will discuss separately, fixing the position. The background image can be applied with this CSS property. What is the time now? 12 o'clock. I'm giving you 15 minutes time. 12:15, I'll continue with the next continuation of CSS. Lot more are there in CSS. I'll continue. I just want all of you to familiar with these 6 categories. Inline, internal, external, type selector, ID selector, and class selector. If you are going with class selector throughout the demo, I'm okay. Nothing wrong. Anywhere you got struck, the style is not applied, please call us. Heading 1, heading 2. This is also possible, guys. Grouping. So same style can be applied for many types, many selectors. So you should separate with comma for paragraph H1, H2, H3, H6, many more. I want to apply the same style, which is possible. So I will be sharing the list of CSS properties under various categories. I hope after looking into those property names, you can relate. Guys, I'm talking about, let's take font category. So if I take font category, for what the font is used, why we are using font property?
Ma'am, to get a desired type of font.
So listen. So we will use font property what to customize the text which is getting displayed on a web page, and the font will be more attractive. So under font, we have font family, font size, font style, font weight, font represent. I can use font alone. So which includes everything: style, weight, family, its size, everything together I can define under font. Apart from that, I can use it for separate property. So likewise, the text color, text alignment, center alignment, text indentation, that is, it should have a line break from the beginning, height of the line. After some time, when we are using list, so yesterday I have introduced a list, ordered list, unordered list. So list hyphen style hyphen type. What is the style of list? And the other category is background, background color, background image. So background image alone you can set with either background or background hyphen image. You will set with URL property. So slowly, we will be getting into all the advanced properties of CSS. Positioning your content on a page, your float, position, float, it will come as a separate chapter. Those who are already familiar with this, it's fine, or else we will be introducing that separately.
Ma'am, my question was that the font which we are, or the family of font which we are specifying, can it be of any type, or is it restricted to some
As of
parameter?
now, no. When there is a project, if you are developing a web project, the client who allocated the project will give their requirement.
Okay.
So they want their heading to be in this particular font, in that font family. Certain families are it's not open source, so it's a paid one. It's not available free of cost. So they will be provided. Most important thing is your size font family, because all the content are textual representation. Okay. So
Okay.
anyone facing problem? Shall we continue with next?
Yes, ma'am.
So after that, in the whole afternoon, I'll be giving you the time to familiar and to get practiced on CSS.
Ma'am, is there any sprint today?
Yeah, we have sprint. So let me complete. I think we have 2 more small topics in third sprint. After that, I'll be rolling out the sprint. So that no, you can complete your styling of that sample web application which you created with yesterday with those 5 pages, and also you can complete base print. Okay, one more thing I want to say is grouping style. So guys, please pass your work. I'll take another 30 or 45 minutes. So that's what I'm telling. Whole afternoon, I'll not introduce any other news print today. So there were a lot of basic CSS selectors, properties you need to familiar. So you can practice it, not by learning, only by practicing. Okay. So the demo example which is in front of you is falls under the category grouping style. So same style for more than one selector, which is separated with comma. Whereas the next topic is nesting style. Again, based on condition. Inline style, embedded style, external style. So external, you will be creating an HTML document and you will be creating separate file with CSS extension. Have you noticed anything on second point? You should create in a same folder. If it is images, if it is any other external resources, ensure that it should be in the same project folder. So in the same folder, you will be creating a separate file and you will save with .css extension, and you will add all the CSS rule, and then you will link HTML and CSS using link tag under your head tag. Link relationship, it's a typo error, guys. Here it should be href. It's not source. Href. Next. So let me complete the theory. Type selector is something referred to the tag name or HTML element selector because it selects HTML tag or element. Div, span, section, heading, paragraph, all. ID selector uses ID attribute of HTML element. The value of ID is unique for all HTML document. There should be no duplicate. To select an element with ID, write hash character followed with ID of that element. So in CSS, you will be defining hash followed with selector name, unique selector name, and all your properties. You will be calling with ID followed with ID name. The third category is class selector. Class selector. So class selector will be defined along with dot operator, period operator. And here you will call with class attribute. So moving on to the next, what is that? Nested style, or in other term, we can call it as combinator selector. Listen carefully. CSS selector can contain more than one simple selector. So nesting style, multiple elements can be applied to the style which is defined based on our requirement. So we have 4 different combinator selector in CSS. I'll repeat again. So let's assume you have n number of elements in your HTML. Let's assume there were heading, there were paragraph, and there were various elements. So if you want to apply the style, so I'll be having a paragraph or div. Inside div, I have many paragraphs. In such situation, if I want to apply style to my parent element as well as the nested child element, or I want only for parent, not for child. Based on our requirement, you can use this combinator selector. So there were 4 types of combinator selector. Descendant selector, which should be separated with space. Child selector, you should use this close symbol, greater than symbol. Adjacent sibling selector, you should use plus separator. General sibling selector, you should use tilde symbol. On seeing the name, you might get confused, but after let's have a simple demo so that you will have a clear picture on all the selector. So the first category is descendant selector. What to say? So descendant selector matches all the element. So all the child element of specified element, the style will be applied. Okay. Is there any explanation? Please pay. So let me create a new file. And .html. So let me give div inside div tag 1. Sorry. Please pay attention. Div 1 inside paragraph 1. Paragraph 2. And second div 4. So I have div. I can call this as a nested style, nested tag. So I'm having div as my outer element. Inside that I have various paragraphs. What I can say. So I have div. Inside div, my paragraphs are getting nested. Guys, are you with me? So let me have 5th paragraph, which is outside div 1, inside 5th paragraph. So div is my element which is enclosing some 4 paragraphs. Shall I continue? Are you with me, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Style. So I have not applied any style. So no style has been applied. Div, comma, paragraph. Color. So what is this? Some time back I told you. So this type of selector is called as
Type
selector.
Group selector. So for all the div and paragraph, this color will be applied. This is one. If you have elements, whereas if you have nested elements, so I have div, inside div I have paragraph. I cannot use comma. Instead of comma, So based on our requirement, the combinator selector nested style can be applied in any of the 4 categories. So no comma. So comma means it's applicable for all selectors. So whereas when it comes to nested tags, selector can be of any of the 4 category. Descendant, which is space. Space, what is this? Greater than symbol, plus and tilde. Requesting all of you to pay attention. I'll do a modification. So instead of comma, let me give div space p. Can you find anything on the output screen?
Yes, ma'am.
As soon as I remove comma, so if I apply comma, this is totally different. So which comes under the category grouping style. Same style is gonna to apply for all the selectors. Div paragraph, wherever I have paragraph, wherever I have div, style will be applied, which is different, which is grouping style. Whereas here it comes to nested style, combinator selector. In such situation, the first category is descendant style. What do you mean by descendant style? You can guess from the output.
Ma'am, it is separated by space.
Which is separated by space. How come the output get differs?
Only for paragraphs it is.
Only for what paragraph?
Inside,
inside div.
which are in.
So if I apply the first category descendant, it's not applicable for div. Can you see inside div I have content? It is not applicable for my div at all. It is applicable only for all the child element of div. Even I have 2 more paragraph outside the div. It's not applicable for the element which is outside the div. It is applicable only for the nested element of my div. So wherever I have paragraph inside div, for that paragraph alone, the style has been applied, which is your descendant selector. Shall I continue? So if you give space, which is descendant selector, the idea behind this combinator selector is inside. So wherever I have div, if I have a paragraph enclosed within div, if a paragraph is nesting under my div tag, for that alone style is applied. It is not applicable for my div also. It is not applicable for my outside paragraph also. Shall I continue? What was the next symbol? Greater than plus tilde. I'll change the symbol. You tell me the explanation. What was the next one? Greater than? I think I'm missing. No. I'm missing something. I'm getting the same output for greater than as well as space. No, there is a difference. Give me 1 minute time.
Greater than and space for both, Sangeeta, for I
No. There is a minute difference.
Minor difference.
It's there. No, it's there. There is a difference. Okay. Both are not same, I'm sure. Damn sure. Give me few minutes time, guys. This is child selector. That's fine. 1 second. Asif, we can do the difference by this way, no? Yeah. Inside.
Yeah, how it is differ, Sangeeta?
I'll tell you.
Mhm.
Let me complete. So, guys, just for exploring this topic, I have added one heading. Anyway, for this heading, it will not be applicable because my nested combinator selector is only div and paragraph. Heading is excluded. I just wanted to put inside my div. That's all. So I have added heading. Anyway, the style is not applicable for heading. I have a direct paragraph. So inside my div, I have direct paragraph, 3 paragraph. Whereas inside my div, I am adding my one another heading H5. Inside H5, I am adding my paragraph. So let it be. So in such situation, if I add descendant combinator selector for all the paragraph, the style will be applied. Can you see the output? Even though the direct paragraph tag as well as the paragraph inside one more child element H5, the style has been applied. Are you with me, guys? For all the 4 paragraphs,
Yes,
1,
ma'am.
2, 3, 4.
Yes, ma'am.
But if I add child selector, what is happening?
It is applying to the child.
Direct child paragraph. I think yeah, this is a difference. Okay, I'll repeat. So descendant selector matches with all the elements of specified element. If I have div, inside div for all the paragraph, the style will be applied if you put space. Whereas if you put this greater than symbol, which is child selector selects all the elements which are immediate children of specified div element. So as per the block, paragraph 1, 2, 3 alone, it is a direct child element. These are all children to my div. For this alone, style is applied. For paragraph 4, style is not applied. That's all. Shall I move to the third category? The first and second is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
So descendant is all element inside div, all paragraph inside div. Whereas child is only the direct children of my div. Paragraph 1, 2, 3 are my direct children. The third category is adjacent. So adjacent, what do you mean by the term adjacent?
Beside.
What is adjacent? Oh my God, it's a regular word. You just relate with the regular English.
Opposite.
This.
Not opposite.
Side by side.
Side by
Side by
side.
side.
The next one, or I can say the immediate following one. Huh? Who is sitting adjacent to you? Who is sitting next to you? Same is applicable. You can guess the output for adjacent and what was the symbol, and it is plus. Adjacent sibling selector selects the element who are all adjacent to the element. Let's take div plus paragraph. You can guess the output. Guys, no one? Adjacent sibling selector.
Applies to the next one.
The paragraph
Side.
which is immediately following the div. So I have my div tag. So div followed with which paragraph? So it will be applied. So I can have 3 paragraphs outside my div, immediately following after my div. But whichever the paragraph which is adjacent to my div. So I have div followed with paragraph. For paragraph 5, adjacent will be applied. So for 1, 2, 3, 4 descendant, for 1, 2, 3 is child, paragraph 5 is descendant. I'm sorry, paragraph 5 is adjacent sibling selector. What about the third category, general sibling selector? You can guess this. What is this general and adjacent? The third and fourth will go in the same pace. What is this? Your mind are blank, guys?
Applies to all the outside.
All the outside div paragraphs. I'll show you. What was the symbol? It's tilde. That's all. So descendant is for all the 4 paragraph inside div. Child is only the 3 paragraph because these are all direct children. Adjacent is only one paragraph which is following with the div. Let's assume I have one more div. So I have div and I have paragraph. So adjacent will highlight which wherever I have div followed with paragraph will be applied to the style. The last category is general sibling after div. So I have div followed with 3 paragraph. For all the 3 paragraphs, style will be applied.
Yes, sir.
We will use in our sprint. When I provided the hint, don't ask me how to apply. This is how we will use these types of combinator selector in our sprint. I'm sharing this demo 4 only for your combinator selector. So I have section. I took div and paragraph. In your slide demo, they have section and paragraph. So there should be section. Inside section, you have paragraph. So descendant, for all the paragraph, it will be applied. For child, paragraph 2 will not be applied because it is under article. Whereas the adjacent sibling and this thing is not applicable because I don't have any paragraph after section. Someone called me, please tell me.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you explain the difference of section and division? Because I'm not able to interpret it.
Section is your semantic tag. Div is your non-semantic tag. I can use
terms of functionality.
No, there is no, that's what yesterday itself I told this clearly. By using div, I can create an HTML page. The same HTML page I can replicate by using section. Only thing is when it comes to screen reading functionality for your browser understanding. So prefer semantic tag.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so technically CSS, if I use paragraph, curly braces, color red, color colon red, P is called as
Selector.
Selector.
Declaration property value selector. This question is for all.
Selector.
Selector.
So you have this curly braces, no? This comes under the category
Declaration.
declaration. Color is a property.
Property.
Red is a value.
Value.
T comes under the category
Selector.
selector. You can have multiple property value pair. So So today I'm giving you the entire afternoon time to explore on various properties. So background, I'll circulate the tabular column. So the tabular column, I will put property name. It's what to say that it's description, definition, and examples, whatever the valid value to be applied for that property. And then some examples. so that it will be helpful for you to know how to use. So background property is a shorthand. So what background I want to apply. So we have background attachment, background clip. I want to attach color, image, origin, position, repeat, size. So it will not come in one day. So it will come in practice. So today you explore on font family, font properties, all the categories of font, text, background. And as I told you, we have hexadecimal, that 6-digit value differs from 0 to F, A, B, C, D, F. And the other one is RGB format, I told you. And you can also provide color name itself. Right. So these are the font property. Font family, size, stretched font, style, variant, weight, height. So when you are handling a list, ordered list, unordered list, LI, UL, OL, so you can apply CSS property to your list. So list style type, you will be getting rounded circle dot, square box. So we have various type. So I thought yesterday you will arise this question. If I want arrow mark in style, I want dot, I want square. So you can use styles. Are you with me, guys? You got
Yes,
my
ma'am.
point, what I'm trying to say. So when it is unordered list, in ordered list, we have this numerals, alphabets, numbers. So even if you want to specify any image, so by default, I think it's disk. You can apply square, check what are all are available. So by default, that square or the disk dot will be applied outside your list item. So if you want to place along with the list, whatever the style thing you can control. So display CSS property sets whether the element is treated as a block, inline, layout. So these are the various, okay. So this display alone, I'll show you with separate example. Let it be on. After some time, I'll show you a separate example for this display. This is more interesting. Yesterday, I have introduced nav bar. So whenever if you have link style property, so anchor tag. So whenever if you have an anchor tag, hyperlink, links have different states which can be styled with all the pseudo classes. So have you noticed whenever if you are keeping your mouse cursor on any of the link, color differs. So whenever if you are keeping your mouse cursor on any of the link, one second. Let me go down also. So guys, have you noticed whenever if you are keeping your mouse cursor on your anchor tag, so what is happening on Amazon? If you keep your mouse cursor on your nav bar anchor link, box.
The border is
So it will be it just circulated with square box. So you will be finding one border box. Wait, let me show you. So let me show you on Flipkart. So you can see so many links. So what is happening when I keep mouse cursor on my anchor link? By default, the font is blue color. When I keep my cursor, by default, it is black. Font color is black. What is happening when I keep a mouse cursor?
It's getting blue.
Blue. Sometimes background color gets changed. So technically, when I keep a mouse cursor on any of my anchor, it is called as hover property, mouse hover. So what happens when the link gets visited? Let's assume I have 5 links. I already clicked home and about us page. So when I visited the page, what should be the color? So what should happen? What is the default color for all my links? So what should happen if I already clicked and visited the page? When I keep a mouse cursor hover, when the current, I have 5 page. So which page is on current active? When I keep my mouse cursor, what it needs to focus? So link is something like unvisited link for all the 5 links. So whichever the links get visited, when my mouse cursor. So when I keep my focus, my tab, and I have made focus on the current link. So whichever the link is clicked, I'm in this particular page. So what should be my style? So I can apply this with the help of CSS style property. So anything you have observed on this example? So by default, what property my anchor tag needs to establish? So anchor A, the letter A represents your anchor tag, HTML tag. So A : link, A : visited, A : hover. Shall we try the same?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So did I applied? Did I applied any link? Yeah, I'll use the same. So let it be demo2.html. Here it is demo3. Here it is demo4. Here it is demo1. Here it is demo1. I'll use the same which I have used yesterday. Nothing. So why this aqua is not coming? Visited.
Save first.
I saved. So that is why when I keep a mouse cursor, this gray is coming. So when the hover property, when I keep a mouse cursor on my anchor tag, I have applied this background gray color. This link, which represents unvisited link. Yeah, I have not visited any of my page. Why it is not in Marine? Okay, so let me try this, the last one, visited. I think did I visited all the pages? So let me give demo 5.html. Now it's working. So at current instance, I have visited all the 4 pages. See, according to me, in front of you, you can see have a home, about us, contact us, and login. But I have clicked all the pages. So demo 2, 3, 4, and 1. All the pages has been visited. All the visited pages will take this visited. A:visited is taking this blue violet color. Whereas can you see the first one, A:link unvisited page. So whichever the page not visited via this anchor will be remains with this property. I have not visited register. Once if I click and visit registered page, automatically it will be changed with this visited color. So whenever if you are using anchor, go for this, try this. Link, hover, visited. And for commonly, if you want to establish any style sheet property, you can apply to your anchor tag A. Which is a correct CSS selector used to select text inside HTML and to change the text color to red in following example. So I have paragraph. So paragraph and some text content inside. I want to apply the font color, text color as red. Can I use hash? No, I have not called with ID. So this is not the proper symbol. Come on, guys, it's a simple one. First one.
Option A, ma'am.
Which is a correct CSS selector statement used to select the text inside HTML to change the text color to red when the user hover their mouse over it.
C.
I have an anchor tag.
Option C.
So, and it is pointing to HTML index.html page. When I keep a mouse cursor hover, so we cannot use hash cover dot. We should use its anchor : which falls under the category. Even though it is nesting, but anchor tag by default. Same thing, under combinator selector, we have space for all the child element, only direct child element, the next element, all the next followed with all the elements. So whereas under anchor tag, we have some set of predefined classes, which is anchor link, anchor visitor, hover, focused. So mostly we will apply to hover property. But I don't want much. This hover is default. It is applied for all your anchor. So display alone, we will discuss after some time. In the afternoon, we will discuss about display property of CSS and ARIA labels. But I want all of you to explore basic functionality of CSS followed with all the selectors. So it's 1 o'clock. We have some 20-25 minutes time. I want you to do a sample demo on this external style sheet, combinator selector. Let me share you some reference link for your self reading. So please explore on. We have so many properties in CSS. Everything will come by practice.
Recording stopped.
Okay, we can go on a lunch break, guys. So we will come after lunch and we'll continue with sprint and sample demos I'll share. So go on a lunch break, come back at 2.